Hey guys, so in my last video I talked about how we might be getting a Smash Direct soon, or some sort of Nintendo Direct with some Smash info pretty soon. I was assuming it might be Thursday the 18th. There was some reason to believe that. There was a post by Nintendo of Canada getting something ready at this barcade in Montreal, and they weren't able to tell us, like, what that was. Well, it turns out the arcade in Montreal, Arcade MTL, came out and they finally said what it is. And it is Smash related, but it is just a Smash demo that they're going to be hosting. Whether or not that's the E3 build or some new build, not really sure yet, but that's all it was. It's just a Smash demo at that arcade. That we still could get some new Smash information soon. I do think, having the fighter page on the Japanese YouTube channel that has like all the fighter videos on it update a couple weeks ago still points towards something was getting ready on that page to, give us a new fighter. And I do think, we'll probably see something fairly soon here. Now, when we're going to get new Smash information officially aside, there's some really interesting stuff happening in the world of speculation and leaks right now. Most interesting is this thing that's going around right now. Basically, this poster over on Reset Era, Tansut, I think I'm saying that right. He posted something recently that basically said that there is a real leak floating around right now that probably got looked over. So by a leak that we looked over, what I mean is that there's some leak out there that we either considered debunked or we looked at for a little while and then just moved on to the next leak because there's so many out there. But it's a leak we, aren't exactly paying attention to, but it is in fact real. So this is pretty huge. We got to look through all the old leaks and see if there's something that might, not have been fully debunked and might still be possible to be real. So what Tansut's saying specifically is actually that Nintendo itself, as he put it, got their feathers ruffled over some leak that's out there. So Nintendo's actually like angry about some leak that's out there. I'm going to read over Tansut's posts, but he also goes on to say that it's not the Ken image leak, and that's not to say the Ken image leak isn't real, but that's not the one that Nintendo got their feathers ruffled over, and that it's most likely an image leak. And I agree with that. I feel like Nintendo probably only really cares about image leaks because text leaks can always just be written off as, who knows if it's real or not until we actually see the proof, whereas an image leak is actually a piece of the game, being leaked out to the public. So why should we believe Tansut? Well, supposedly, he actually leaked Cloud before Cloud was DLC. People have said that he posted something over on NeoGAF, and it alluded to Cloud. I think something about like a blonde-haired protagonist and the date that we get that, and we did get Cloud. And like no one was guessing at Cloud. I don't actually know his exact post. I was not able to find it. However, a lot of people over on Reset Era are listening to this guy, and a lot of people over on Smashboard seem to remember him calling Cloud. It's the type of thing where, like, if somebody leaks something or says something and nobody really pays attention to it, and then it happens, a lot of times that gets looked over because, it happened. Like, the information's useless by the time we're actually looking at it. So I am giving this guy the benefit of the doubt, even though I can't find that post. A lot of people who I trust, a lot of people who, really pay attention to the speculation game are looking at this guy, are trusting this guy, do consider him to be a quality source, an insider source in some way. So yeah, I am taking this as a serious thing. Alright, so I'm just going to read his posts here. His first post about this says, "Okay, Detective GA, Era, it appears that we indeed have a legit leak on our hands. I'm not aware of the particulars, like even which leak it is exactly, but I know it caused some ruffled feathers recently. This should help us get out of the cycle of straw polls and goofy theories." So essentially he's just talking about how, things have been a little dry in the speculation community lately, but that he has heard there is some real leak floating around that has gotten looked over. Next he said, "That's what I was trying to say. The short of it is that a leak, I'm assuming one from somewhat recently, spurred some internal discussion. I don't know which leak it is, but I would have to assume it was an image-based to catch attention. Yes, this means that I have a decent idea of which character it is, but it's ultimately total speculation on my part because, again, I don't know which specific leak it might be. I only think I have an idea because of where I heard it from and whatnot. What I mentioned originally is all I concretely am sure of. That's why I'm not being any more specific. because any specificities are just educated guesses. So why even bring it up, you fairly ask? Because I love it when we analyze leaks. I also find the straw polls and music blog box theory to be a little dull, so I'm trying to avoid more wheel spinning in this thread. Next he says, it's not the Ken leak. If it was, I wouldn't have bothered. Next he said, I don't know how recent the leak they're huffed about happened. As far as I know, it could have come out like a month ago and they just now found out about it. Or it came out like 2 days ago and they immediately spotted it. I simply don't know much more than you guys, which is partly why I mentioned it. Then someone asked, how do you know it's not Ken if you don't know what leak it is? He said, based on things I am not at liberty to divulge. So there you go. That's pretty much all the important stuff Tansat said about this. Basically, it's probably an image leak of some kind because he feels that's what would get Nintendo mad. He has an idea of who it might be based on where he's getting the information from, and he doesn't know if it came out like a couple days ago or a month ago or what. So we kind of have to look, I'd say, at least a month back at leaks, and one of them might be the real leak if we're hunting for this one. Now, this is just my own speculation, but based on what he's saying about where he got the information, based on the fact that this is the guy who supposedly knew about Cloud, my guess is it might be an image leak for some Square character. Now, that's just speculation on my part, but based on everything he's saying, I would say that potentially the Square rep that Vergiben's been talking about, and been talking about as being such a secret character that he doesn't even want to mention who it could be, might be the character that ruffled some feathers with Nintendo. That makes sense to me. Nintendo would be mad about that, especially if, say, the Ken image leak is real, but Nintendo isn't that angry about it. If, say, the Square rep got out there and there's an image of it out there that's actually real, that would potentially get them huffed, as Tansat says. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. There's potentially a real leak out there in the wild, just sitting somewhere on the internet that is real. So if people want to go back and look through a bunch of image leaks that we've gotten, again, over the last month or so, and see if there's anything that we debunked or looked over that maybe we didn't fully debunk might be real. I have my own theories on what ones it might be. Obviously, my Geno bias is going very strong, especially because this guy, again, is known for leaking Cloud to us, so I'm guessing his insider source might be a Square source of some kind and might be aware that the Square rep has an image out there, and there has been a lot of Geno images, so again, Geno bias full force here. If you guys have any ideas or thoughts on what this leak might be, please post them in the comments, because I am happy to try to hunt this one down. I'd love to, hear people's views on this and try to figure this one out. That would be amazing. Again, I am very biased in looking at mostly Geno images, and yeah, I mean, the fact that this guy's credibility is based in Square character that he called before, and we have reason to believe that the Square character getting out would actually make Nintendo mad, just makes sense to me. So that's where I'm looking. But yeah, leave some comments and let's see if we can figure this one out. So a few other interesting things have happened very recently. The menu theme for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is now out on the internet. Some people have been able to post it up, and I guess they got permission from Nintendo. Supposedly, there was, from my understanding, some event where the menu theme was heard, and people were able to, get it and put it up online, and Nintendo said that was okay. At least like a looped version. So I'm gonna link over to Crunchytastic's channel in the description for this video if you want to go listen to that menu. It's honestly really epic and pretty cool. So yeah, the menu theme is out there right now, and that means, maybe a further build of the demo is running around. That's kind of what I'm thinking might be happening in Montreal tomorrow. That demo that's happening at Arcade MTL might actually be like a newer demo and not just the E3 demo. I'm just speculating here, but that would make sense to me. Also recently, D1 posted a picture of playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate in some office room, so it's totally possible that, some select people were allowed to go play, again, what might be a newer version of the game, maybe even the final version of the game, who knows, and that might be where this menu theme is coming from. So yeah, that image is pretty interesting to me. We also got an even more interesting image tweeted recently from EGPR Champ. He's a media relations person that works for Nintendo of America, and he posted a picture of a bunch of Nintendo stuff. It's got Pokemon Let's Go there, but it also has the box for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and it's rated. It has the ESRB rating on the box, so this is, possible that the game has gone gold, or there's copies of it floating around in the right circles of people, insiders at Nintendo, maybe reviewers, stuff like that. But the game may be floating around out there right now, and that's pretty huge. Someone asked him if he knew the full roster, and all he did was post a emoji of like a thinking smiley face. So yeah, maybe, who knows. So with the possibility that the game has gone gold and that there is a full build of the game floating around within the right circles of people, we may be getting, that big leak soon, that leak that tells us everything about the game. It's also possible that, we may just get a direct soon, and that direct might be the last one, might be everything in it. Who knows? I mean, I thought it was going to wait until November, but I do totally understand Sakurai trying to avoid leaks this time, and, possibly as soon as that game is in the hands of all the reviewers and stuff like that, rather than risking having something get out here, he just gives us our final direct and gets to reveal the characters at his own discretion. So as a final note in what's happening in the Smash speculation community right now, there's been some strange errors people have been getting on the Smash website, and one mistake has popped up. If you go over onto the stages section of the North American version of the website, the Super Happy Tree stage, the name is now in Spanish, and it wasn't in Spanish before, so they must have updated the stage section and I guess screwed up and put that part in Spanish for some reason. So that could potentially point to them updating the stage section, and possibly, we're going to get those 5 more stages. CoroCoro Magazine said that we'd have 108 stages, and it was never confirmed whether or not that was a mistake or not, but there is a spot for like 5 more stages. When Sakurai showed the stage select screen, there was, a row for more stages right there, so I do think 5 more stages makes sense to me. So it's possible the website is gearing up to add something to the stage screen, and, that's why this screwed up. The Spanish translation for Super Happy Tree stage, popped up on the English website. I don't know why, but all I can think of is somebody was in there changing something about the stage, like coding. So to end this video off, just a couple shout-outs. Drew Maru Comics and Alpha Stoutland were on a podcast with me recently, so I'm going to put a link to that in the description. And also, Alpha Stoutland did a great video analyzing all the evidence towards Shantae in Smash Bros. Ultimate, so I'm going to also put a link to that video, because it's really good. You guys should check both those out. In the podcast, we talk a lot of Smash, so if you just like hearing me talk about Smash, go check out that podcast. Another thing I'd like to talk about is Real Zeta Bit over on Twitter messaged me, and they're actually making a video game. Their Zeta Bit Studios is creating a game called Geno the Fallen King. So just pretty cool that the main character's name is Geno. I checked the game out. It's really cool. You guys should go check out that. I'll also put a link to that game in the description of this video. So I recently created a Discord channel, a Patreon, and I got my Twitter account now linked to this channel. So those are all over in the About section of this YouTube channel. So if you're interested in going on that Discord, possibly donating on Patreon, or if you just want to talk to me over on Twitter, or just follow me on Twitter, yeah, go over to the About section of this YouTube channel, and you can find all that there. So once again, thank you guys for all the subscribes, all the likes. Really helps out the channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so, or like the video, or leave a comment, whatever you want. Until next time, have a good one.